Now, something we could do that would add to this, we've been talking about tightening our thighs as we do our yoga. We could put a block there in between our thighs. You don't have to, but if you wanted to. And what it helps you do is just, you're just holding that block, but it engages your thighs. When we engage our thighs, it tightens our glutes and engages our core. So they all kind of move together. We're just putting the focus on different places as we go. Now turn your palms to face behind you. We're just warming up our shoulders, moving inside our body. And then turn your palms to face forward. Nice job, and then stay down. If you need to, kind of hard to wiggle out your legs when you have a block between your legs, but every so often wiggle out your feet, your ankles. And now we're going to raise and lower our arms out to the side. So you're gently squeezing your block as you bring your arms up, floating down. That's what you feel, your upper back, neck, shoulders. How's your middle back, your lower back? Your arms feel tired today, or they feel good and strong? Are you feeling in your legs today? Feel your feet touching your mat. Follow your breath, breathing in when you lift, out when you lower. Next time, leave one arm down. And then we'll do our side stretching, so come over. And then pull your elbow down and then release your hand. Bring your other arm out and over. But when you lower it, just bring it down, out and over. And then lead with your elbow, out and over. Drop down your elbow. Focus on your ribs. Visualize your spine stretching. Side body stretching. No. And then stay in the middle. Good job. Take your block out if you're using one. Wiggle out your feet again. Let's leave our block there and do a forward bend. So just your usual forward bend. You can let go of your weights or hold your weights. To soften your knees, relax your head. You can wiggle and jiggle your head and neck and shoulders. Now, while you're in your forward bend, just start bending your knees and then straightening. Now bend your legs enough so you can put your arms on your thighs and drop your head down. Now start to squeeze your block and stand up. And bring your arms up and bring your arms down. Good job. So take your block out for a minute. And we'll put it down. So we've, sorry, so we've just been bringing attention into our thighs. And we are strengthening our thighs, we're stretching the inner thighs. And that block is just bringing our attention to that place that we've been working. You can keep holding your weights or not. Widen your feet, bend your knees a little. Tuck your hips under some. Bring your lower abdomen in. And just pause here. Let's just straighten our legs and bend. Let's get into our knee joints. Make sure you're not swaying your lower back, but kind of tuck it under and not too much. It's really a neutral spine. How are your knees today? Getting into our ankle joints. Now we'll start to move into one leg, over to the other leg. That's getting into our joints, these big muscles in the thighs. Yeah, let's bring our feet back in the middle. Wiggle out your legs again. And now we'll do twisting, so just easy twisting. Visualize your spine, twisting. Notice the movement in your hips, your knees, your ankles. Feel your feet on your mat. The way to unlock the body so we can move more safely in our stretches and our strong standing poses. Now stay in the middle. Let's start off just lifting one knee and the other knee. Working our hip flexors, engaging our lower abdomen, getting into our balance. And then leave your feet down. Now we're going to raise and lower our heels. So bring your arms up and then just pull your heels up and come right back down. Slow and steady wins the race here. Focus on the ball of your feet, the balls of your feet from your big toe to your little toe. Instead of gripping with your toes, just shifting your weight. You're lifting straight up. You're not leaning forward into it. Up and down. We're not trying to stay on our tiptoes. One more time. Good. Pull out your feet again. Let's put our weights down. And now if you have a strap, get your strap. If you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. Work on our shoulders some more. Your strap could be folded in half. Mine's buckled. So widen your feet a little, bend your knees, but imagine you have that block in between your legs. Our feet are too wide to hold the block right now, but we could still pretend and engage these muscles. So now raising and lowering your arms. Breathing in when your arms lift and breathing out when they lower. And you're still body scanning. How are your shoulders today? I would leave your elbows a little bent. This time, look up with your eyes when your arms move up. And stretch the front of your body and then come back down. You're really pulling your strap tight. This time when your arms are up there, leave them up there. And we'll do easy side to side bending. Over, we're working our spine. Forward bending, twisting, side to side bending. And back bending, and the place we got our back bend was when we look up. Let's stay in the middle. Look up, stretch the front of your body, arch the back of your body, and now bring your arms straight down. Drop over to a forward bend, and breathe. And we're in this forward bend, we're stretching the whole back of the body. That starts at the bottom of the feet, runs up the back of the legs, all through our back and our neck and to the back of the head, to the middle of the forehead. So it's a full back body stretch. Now pretend you're squeezing your block and stand up. And look up, there's your back bend. And now pull one arm behind your head or just that elbow straight up in the sky. And then bring your arms up. Back up and over. Really careful with yourself. One more time, up and over. Good job. And then up, and now lower your arms. And now we're going to do circles. Lift one arm, bring it all the way up and around. Lower that other arm, circle forward, and then lift that arm. Come up. Lower that arm, circle around. Really giving our upper back and shoulders good movement. Now go ahead and pivot back over the other way. As if this bothers your back, your shoulders, where is it? Is it anywhere? Is it bothering you in any way? And what do you think is causing that? And next time, stay down. Good job. Lift your knees. Now I'd like us to sit down on the floor for a minute so you can drop your strap down. Stretch out your legs. And then circle around your legs. Here we are, stretching the muscles along our spine again. Now down our legs. Notice the direction your feet are pointing. Try to point them straight up. Separate your teeth a little bit. Relaxes your lower jaw, your tongue. And now reverse your circle. In the middle. Now put your feet together, hold your knees. We're going to start off with a variation of cat-cow. So sit up tall, kind of lean forward in your hips. And then just rock your hips back but try to keep the front of your shoulders open. So tilt forward, tilt back. So imagine if you were laying down, you were pushing your spine into the floor and then pulling your spine away from the floor. So your upper body, shoulders, head and neck, they stay pretty neutral, but this is a pelvic tilt while we're sitting. This is using your core to make this happen. You could exaggerate it more if you think about when you rock back, push your lower stomach towards your sacrum. And then when you tilt forward, it's pushing your lower back, your sacrum area forward. So that's very specifically engaging those muscles, just like we did when we were working with our inner thigh muscles with the block and without the block. I consider all this more advanced yoga, to be able to connect these dots, and when the dots don't connect, just let it go. We're just playing around with movement and awareness and mindfulness. And now we'll move this into a whole cat-cow. So now pull your spine down, drop your chin, round your shoulders forward. Let the back of your spine open up. Take a couple of breaths. And then pull forward. This time lean through your legs, stretch from your collarbone to your chin. And that's different than squeezing the back of your neck. So that's not what we want to do. We want to stretch the front of the neck. So forward and back here. And then this time stay forward, bring your arms in front of your legs, if you can. And if not, what you do is you hold your legs up, because that's going to relax your hips and let you tip forward more deeply. So either hold your legs up a little, take the strain out of your hips and your back. Or if you're able to, let go. And then you can bring your arms in front of your shins for traction and pull your body forward. But you might, if we do this at the end of class, it might be easier than here at the beginning. So you're just there, you're working inside your own body, listening. When do you play the edge? When do you back off? But stay here now, use your breath. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. See how your body lifts, and then exhale. Couple more times. Let your inhale float you up, because you're creating space in your body, and then the exhale floats you down. And then next time, come up. Use your hands and lift your knees. Now make your feet a little bit wider than hip width, and lean back on your hands. And at first, just start off barely moving your knees side to side. Let your ankles roll over to the inside and the outside ankle. Now, when your knees are on one side, the hand that's behind your back leg, scoot it up a little bit so you can lift this hip and move your knees down to the floor. So my hip over here is not on the floor. You might be able to keep your hip on the floor. That's good too. And then bring your legs over to your other side. This hand that's behind you, I move mine up so I can get a deeper rotation in my hip socket. If you have a hip replacement, You don't want to put your knee all the way down. That's too big of an internal rotation in your hip socket. And then if that's okay with your hips today, do that a couple of times. Nice job. Let's lay down on our back. You first lay down, give your knees a hug. Rock side to side. Keep body scanning your body. When you do that, you're in the present moment. You're in the present moment, your mind rests. Now make circles with your knees. I think it's really interesting to notice how it might not bother you to circle one direction, but it does bother you to circle the other way. And notice if that's the case. And now reverse your circle. And then reverse your circle. This time take your hands off your legs. Move your knees farther away. Reverse again. Your knees a hug. Drop your feet down. Open your arms, start to move your knees side to side. Now they can drop down however far it's comfortable. Don't push them down or force them down. Like that bottom leg, you might drop it open. You're stretching along your side body, you're twisting your spine again. You're even gently massaging our internal organs. Now put your hands on your ribs and anchor your ribs, and now just twist your lower back towards your hips. So the back of your ribs are on the floor, back of your shoulder blades are on the floor. Just kind of holding your rib cage in place. There's so many variations we can create with our spinal twists that are so helpful to our back. And then leave your knees in the middle next time. Now put your feet and your knees together. Drop your arms open again. And again, drop your knees to the side. And keep that back shoulder blade on the floor. Now use your bottom leg, push your legs back in the middle. Drop over on the other side. Now we're using the bottom leg to lift the knees back to the middle. Keep going. And then if you add your exhale, as you bring your knees back in the middle, think of really anchoring your spine toward the floor as you exhale, pushing with your bottom leg. It really engages your core. And one more variation. You can keep doing that or bring your knees above your hips. Anchor your spine. Drop your knees over. Keep your knees and feet together. And then use your bottom leg. Breathe out. Anchor your spine. Breathe in. Drop over on the other side. Focus on your exhale when you come back in the middle. More time for the other side. Knees over your hips. Bring your arms up in the air over your shoulders. Stretch out one leg and your opposite arm, reach above your head. And then move back in the middle and switch. So pay attention to your spine. And try to either press it down or keep your lower back natural curve. That. Couple more times, reach arm in opposite leg. Good. And now give your knees a hug. This time, just hug one knee, stretch the other leg out along the floor. And really try to soften your leg that's bent, where your hip crease is in the front. Really relax that hip flexor. And then switch. Switching. Good job. And now we're going to roll over on our side and come up on hands and knees. So take time, you're shifting your equilibrium, your blood flow. Might make you feel a little dizzy just to pop up like that. So don't rush that. Then come back in now to your hands and knees. And let's do our cat-cow. So arch your spine up. If you want to start off pulling your hips back and get that stretch. Or you can just stay right there in the middle, moving your spine up and down. And try to really focus on your breath. And I consider focusing on your breath at that level, advanced yoga. So you're breathing out and you stay looking down till you're completely done breathing out. And then when you breathe in, you just feel how your whole rib cage expands. So that's so much body awareness that's using the breath to connect your mind to your body. And that's teaching us focus and concentration that we use out in our world. But this is where we're developing the skill. At the same time, we're doing so many benefits for our body. Now stay neutral. And from right where you are, drop your elbows down, but don't move your hips back. And now lift your elbows. Now keep doing that. Don't move your hips at all. Just drop your elbows down and then push back up. Simple little move, but it might trick you up. One more time. Good. Now cross one hand over to your opposite arm and switch. And while you do this, really tighten the muscles between your waistline and your hips, that lower abdomen. We're not sucking it in, we're engaging those muscles, pushing the stomach toward the spine, supporting the spine, but strengthening those muscles in the back of the body that support the front of the body. Okay, now leave your hands down. Here's one more strength move. Turn your toes under, lift your knees. Now, can you stretch one leg back and then bring it back and then switch? Your knees are off the floor. Your head's in line with your neck in line with your shoulders. Okay, drop your knees down. Sit back, stretch out your hands, relax in child's pose. Notice your breathing. Might be fast when we do strenuous things. We're fast, our breath speeds up. One more thing down here. So stretch your arms out long, look up, and then move your body forward. Now focus on your thighs while you lay down. Relax your head on your hands. Bend your knees and move your feet side to side. And circle your feet around your knees. Reverse your circle. Good job. Come up on your elbows. Pause here. Really lift your neck out of your shoulders. Lift your head up out of your neck. Push your arms down. And then follow your breath again. That big inhale. Expand your stomach into the floor. Exhale. Pull your stomach back towards your spine. And we're going to push up on elbows and knees. So push into your knees, scoot your knees up. And then from here, do cat-cow again. Now we're going to move to hands and knees again. Turn your toes under, lift your knees, drop your head. Push one heel down, push your other heel down. You can bend your knees a lot. Stretch from your wrists to your shoulders to your hips. Push through your fingertips. Now move into a forward bend. Pause in your forward bend. Bend your legs. And then pretend you have your block between your legs when you stand up. Now stand up. Bring your arms up, look up, and then close the pose. Need a drink of water. Here. Twist. Now you could use your weights again or not. These weights are just optional. We're using a 1 pound weight here. And we'll get into our warrior one with the weights or with or without the weights. So step your one leg back. You want your legs in line with your hips. Now, if you can have a block between your legs, How would you squeeze the block? Just play around with the idea. And then float your arms up. Drop the top of your shoulders, lift through your hands. Your arms could be straight. I prefer to keep my elbows soft. And then push your feet in the floor. That's gonna engage your legs. You're working those muscles in your lower body. It's a back bending pose. Increases your heart rate when we have our arms above our heart. It's a balanced pose. Now, if this bothers your knee, everybody straighten your front leg. You can do this pose with 2 straight legs. That way you get the benefit of the calf stretch on the back leg, balance. But now if you're able to bend your front leg, bend your knee, pull your elbows down, and then straighten your leg, push up. And do that a few more times. More times. And then this time when your arms come down, step your back leg forward. Close a pose, honor your effort. And since that's back bending, let's go into a forward bend. So just drop over. You can wiggle around your shoulders, your arms, sway your hips side to side. Focus on your inner thighs while you stand up. Breathe in, reach up. And breathe out and close a pose. Nice job. Then we'll get into our other leg. So if you need a wider base between your feet, just move your front foot over a little bit. That'll help you with your balance. And then float your arms up again. Drop your shoulder blades down your back. Push with your feet. That's going to help you be evenly weighted in your legs. And notice if your hip on your back leg is sticking out over to the side, can you pull it in line with your front hip? Now drop your hands down behind you and lift. Keep pushing with your feet. And if you need to straighten that front leg, that's your modification. Hip opening for the back leg. Now lower your elbows. Step your back foot up. Honor your effort. And we're going to do another forward bend. So you can have your hands on your knees, support your upper body. You can have your your forearms on your thighs. You can dangle down. You can wrap your arms behind your legs. Now, focus on your inner thighs and stand up again. Bring your arms up. Close the pose. Honor your effort. Great job. Let's do a little twist. Now let's get into our warrior 2 poses. So widen your feet. Pivot one foot out. And again, you can keep that leg straight if it bothers your knee. Otherwise, you want to lower your hips straight down. Bring your arms out. Pull your shoulder blades towards your spine. Open from the center of your chest through your hands, your fingers. Focus and breathe. Now reverse warrior, back arm down, front arm up. That bottom arm, you can put that hand on the back of your thigh and create resistance. That'll help you open your top shoulder of your top arm. Now reaching forward to extended side stretch. When you can't reach anymore, you drop that arm down, open your top shoulder. If you have your weight, slide that arm forward. Push with your feet here. Try to keep your head in line with your back, your neck. Good. Now bend your elbow back down by your side. Push yourself up. Bring your feet in. Make a twist. Lift your knees. That's big hip opening work. A good time to reset our body and then absorb the benefits. And then widen your feet again. Pivot that foot around, bend your leg. Float your arms up. You could gaze past your front hand. Keep dropping your shoulders. I think bending your elbows down toward the floor helps you pull your shoulders down. And then you can leave them down and stretch out your arms again. Or just leave them soft elbows. Now back arm down, front arm lifting. So those front ribs lifting up out of your waistline. Think about your feet. It's your foundation and your power. And then reaching forward and dropping that arm down. Now you can put this hand in front of that inside of your knee. Push your hand and the back of your hand, top of your hand, and your knee into each other. And then reach opposite directions with that long side of your body. Your elbow, bring that arm down and come back in the front. Good job. Another twist. And then let's put our weights down. And give our knees a hug if you can do that. Now let's go ahead and sit down again. Do some stretch your legs open and circle around. Try to keep a straight upper back. It's so easy to drop your head forward and round your upper back, but you're going to get a deeper stretch. You can stay straight. Reverse your circle. Stay in the middle. Good job. Bring your legs in and move your knees side to side. Just roll your ankle. Those ankles need to be able to roll over to the side. Sometimes that happens when we're out and about. And if we let them experience that and build strength all through the ankle joint, we're going to have the better outcome. Yeah, and now let's lay down again and use our block again. We're going to bend our knees and put our block between our thighs. So feet on the floor, feet together, and then thighs squeezing the block. And just a little bit faster, rock your hips side to side. Notice if your lower back feels achy at all. These stretches at the end of practice help us reset our hips and our spine. You can put your hands on your ribs, do that. Put your hands on your ribs. Anchor your ribs while you rock your knees side to side, feet together. And now leave your knees in the middle and make your block go long ways. So squeeze your block with your legs. Your block is long ways. And we're going to do the same thing. So anchor your ribs and a little bit faster than our normal spinal twist. Just rocking our legs side to side. But you might feel those inner thighs, that workout they're getting. And now stay in the middle, drop your arms down. Keep your block there, feet together. Now press your spine down and release. Try not to squeeze the block too hard. Don't tighten your glutes. You're just pushing your stomach towards your spine and releasing. Breathe out when you push your spine down. Breathe in when you release. Now, start to lift your hips just above your waistline and then lower. So tighten your glutes, push with your feet, squeeze your block, and lift. And put your hands on your ribs so you can focus on just lifting the hips just past the waistline, not all the way to the shoulder blades. Breathe out when you lift. Really squeeze those glutes with all you've got. You can hold it with your hips lifted and breathe in and out a few times. Next time you put your hips down, rock your spine into the floor and release. A good release for our lower back, above and below our waistline. Good job. Now take your block out, stretch your legs out. Pause here. Now I want you to push one leg longer and pull the other hip up. And then switch. So you're pushing one leg to the end of the mat, to that wall over there, and then switch. You can do this in bed before you get out of bed in the morning and reset your hips. You want to feel that good stretch down the front of the hips. Just pause here. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Out your mouth, let it go. And at the end of that exhale, breathe out so much that from your pelvis through your hips, through your waistline, you feel those muscles tighten up. And then breathe in, let your whole abdominal area expand. Slide your feet back towards your hips, bend your legs, give your knees a hug. You can either rock your knees forward and back. That's similar to what we just did. Or you could rock your knees side to side. And then we want to lift our legs up in the air. So if you want to pivot around to a wall or a piece of furniture, you can do that. Let them hold up your legs. If you want to put a block under your hips or a pillow. Your legs up in the air. Keep your knees soft. Soft. Then your feet will be over your hips or a little bit even forward of your hips, if that's not too big of a hamstring stretch. And that'll help you with your center of balance for your legs. If your hamstrings are tight, your legs might have trouble staying up there. So you can definitely put your strap over your feet if they need to be out there beyond your hips. That way they can still be in the air. I have a big circle on my strap. There's so many variations that can help you be in a pose. There's a saying that says, be easy in the pose. So you don't want to be straining and trying. Where can you find that sweet spot where you're just there? You can breathe easy. So I've started a new habit this week, and that is I put my legs up the wall for 20 minutes a day. Yesterday I did it in the morning, sometimes I do it in the afternoon. And I'm just looking for the benefits, the effects of what that does for me. So if you want to join me in that little journey, even if you can just carve out 5 minutes to keep your legs up higher than your heart. And if you can get your hips up just a little on a pillow or anything, that's definitely an inversion. And so you have to think of the precautions for inversions is primarily the eyes and the blood pressure. So it'd be like detached retinas. I haven't heard precautions for glaucoma, but any kind of pressure you feel in your eyes, your ears, your neck is an indication that today might not be the day for you to do that. And then the other thing about inversions is you never want to pop your head up quickly, like someone knocked on the door right now. You wouldn't want to just, pop up. You could get dizzy. And a good thing to do while you're here is give one knee a hug and lower your other leg a little bit. That's a great flexor stretch. And then switch. So ideally, we'd want to keep our legs up there. But it's also a good opportunity to get a different stretch. If you want to use the time during relaxation to keep your legs up in the air, then I encourage you to do that. If you are going to stretch out, then give your back a chance to settle. If you have something under your hips, and then stretch out your legs. However you are, fully stretched out or just your upper body on the ground, and bring your attention to your sense of touch. the texture of what you're laying on. Firmness of whatever floor is under you. Sense of touch of the air around you. Have a fan, you might feel a breeze. Notice the sounds around you. But the key word is notice. So when we notice things, we don't get caught up in the drama of it. It's a split second of our awareness, and then we let it go, come back to where we are. Now bring your awareness to your breathing, and when you breathe in, feel your rib cage expand side to side, front to back. Now feel how your ribs move back together. Relax. We need to create space in our body. We do that with our inhale. So at the end of the inhale, you can have a nice soft pause before you exhale. And during that inhale, you created space, opened up muscle tissues and sockets and joints. And with the exhale, you relax into that space. If there's a place in your body bothering you, you can focus on it. And in your mind's eye, you feel the inhale creating space in that area. When you breathe in, relaxing into it. So that's the breath, pumping our body, certain place in the body. But it's also the present moment of the breath that brings our mind into the present moment, which is ultimately where we reset our calm energy, our spirit. We draw near to our spirit. Stillness of your body. But feel the aliveness inside your body. How do you feel that? Coolness of the inhale moving into your nose. The moisture, the warmth of the exhale. Start to bring your attention back again. Now deepening your inhale, deepening your exhale, moving your hands, your feet. When you feel ready to bend your legs, maybe move your knees side to side again. Or you're already there. If you want to extend your relaxation, this is the perfect time. And I encourage you to practice a 20-minute relaxation every day. And some days your mind will settle down and some days it doesn't. But that's part of the process. So as you feel ready, gently bring yourself back up. And pause on your side if you haven't. If you're just rolling over, pause on your side. As you come back up, honor your practice, our time together. our spirit, and our energy as a group. Namaste.
Thank you, Barbara.